Nice. So apparently with this new format, I have the double click go live. So you guys missed the countdown, which, hey, maybe that's a good thing for you. And I started live just to give a big finger to Dennis Lewis. Yeah, take that, Dennis, sucker. I was early, man, early. And you know what? We're both early. We're just like, yeah, take that, Dennis Lewis, sucker. Yeah. And then I failed on the buttons. I hit like go live and I started our countdown timer, Jeff. And I was like, yeah, it's going to. And then I noticed there's a big box at the top that said, hey, are you sure you want to go live? And I was like, oh, crap. I better click it. And it was like the last 2 seconds of the stuff. So we barely made it because it wouldn't, I would have played it and then I wouldn't have been early. And then Dennis would have said something weird. I don't know. So yeah, what do y'all think? Anyhow, not that you guys don't know. You guys shouldn't notice anything different. We just changed our back end stuff here, and yeah. So I see Dennis Lewis is here. CW is here. Matthew Nissen. I see you, Lisa. Sup.
Who's
Alan,
in Greer?
Someone's in Greer.
Somebody said they were in Greer. You're
Matthew.
going too fast for me, man.
Matthew.
Okay.
Mr. Matthew Nissen. Let's see who else we got. Alan Becker's here. Lisa's there. TK, my brother from another mother. What's up? James Vaughn. Let's see. Good Lord, they're scrolling. Andrew Bagwandine. See, I said it right once, but I had to think about it. I don't know why, but I want to say Bagwanadine. I'm like throwing in extra letters. I apologize. Someday I'll get it right. I probably won't, but just understand that I'm not trying to screw it up. I just have to because I can't help it. I'm Dicks on sticks. Narc missed us. Hey, go Narc. Yeah. What do you want? Yeah. Okay. What's
James
up, guys?
Bond's in Salt Lake.
Salt Lake. Ugh. No, you can have it. Trucker Dan. Wait, Barb. Hey, Barb, what's going on?
Hey, man, it's warmed up to 29 degrees out here, so we're good.
Whatever, dude.
Time to time to break out the shorts, man.
Hey, Trucker Dan. What's up, buddy? Trucker Dan got a new truck. He got a Volvo.
Oh, good. We need some data.
I remember reading that, right? Yeah, seriously. We definitely need data. Who else we got? Mike Henderson. Look at the people cracking in. Craig Hutchinson. What's going on? Jason Caps. Awful early to go squirrel, like for real, right? I can't help it. Yeah, look, Sue, I cleaned myself up. You know what I did? I rolled an office chair in the kitchen today. I brought some clippers out in the kitchen, and I said, babe.
Oh, hey, so
make me pretty.
I wanted to put a shout out to Margarita, even though she's too busy to watch the show. Margarita is the barber lady in Salt Lake City, in Phoenix. And so those of you that watch the show every week saw my hair last week. This is a Margarita haircut. She does really good work.
Floor up, just saying.
Yeah. So
he's
if you're in Phoenix, give her a visit. She don't bite.
He's got that pretty hair going again, y'all.
Yeah.
Alan, just saying, 4 months until Vegas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we should do this fuel surcharge thing real quick. Get that out of the way. Sue Smith said, I'm very handsome, Jeff. I don't know what she thinks about you, but that's cool. Whatever. I mean, nobody cares really. Whatever.
Fuel surcharge.
It's good call right there, buddy. I appreciate you. It's different buttons. I'm trying to learn these new buttons, so bear with me a little bit. It's just a different process, slightly different layout, same stuff, but a different layout. So I'm not sure how to do it.
Come on, man. We've been playing with this thing for like 20 minutes. Get on track.
Right. What the hell's wrong with me? So this week's fuel surcharge, the national average went down 0.158 cents. 158. Yeah. Wow. I'm like looking at it and don't know if the words are coming out of my mouth the right way, but whatever. We're down to 4.596 on the national average. West Coast Pad 5 dropped almost 15 cents at 0.149 to 5. 0.138. Fuel surcharge is down to 0.559. To drop a 0.028 for the week. West Coast fuel surcharge stayed at 0.08, like we had last week. So there you go. There's the fuel surcharge. I'm not happy. It's going the wrong direction, but whatever. We don't always get what we want, is what they say. Whatever. Yeah. See, and then see this is what I'm talking about, Jeff. It throws you back on the other side. It doesn't remember the spots that we had. It should look. The other service was look. That's one thing.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Just got to get used to it, I guess. Let's see. That's well played, sir. I appreciate it, Ed. Lisa said she saw you on Saturday, Jeff, on US 60.
Oh, okay. It's easy to spot my truck. Yeah.
Bungee.
My grill is held on by bungee cords. I see no reason to change that. I think it looks cool. Whatever. Volvo is doing good. I put almost 1,600 miles on it so far.
Oh, that's what Truck Dan said. Nice. A whole 1,600. Well, that's a good start. If you have a problem in 1,600, I'm just saying run now.
Yeah, so the reason I mentioned, Dan, that we need some data from you. So as most of you guys know, most Swift owner ops, at least through IEL, they have Freightliners or they have Kenworths. So any of you guys that get yourselves into a Volvo or into what's that other one that we don't
International.
talk about? International.
I got you.
Yeah, we need data on those trucks because we just don't see very many of them in our fleets.
Get them, Alan. Tell them it's got to be causing some sort of drag.
Okay, probably not as much as my freaking tires, but that's okay. See?
Merry Christmas, Blackbeard. Good to see y'all. Yeah, Dennis agrees. Fuel surcharge needs to go back up. Well, it's not the fuel surcharge necessarily. It's the fuel price need to go up. So the fuel surcharge goes up with it. Just saying. Alex M. There you go. Hello, this is my second week here with Swift. Michelle told me about this channel. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Hope we can be of assistance and maybe help you do some things better that maybe you weren't aware of, or heck, maybe you'll learn something you didn't know that you didn't know. Mm-hmm. We love that kind of stuff right there. Jason Cap said his International is only getting 6.8 miles per gallon. But you know what? He doesn't have a Pro Star. He's got a Lone Star.
Oh.
He's got that beautiful,
nice truck,
grills, dude. I love that grill. Like I'm just saying, man.
But apparently it's costing him at least 1.2 miles per gallon to have that grill.
Right. But you know what? He's in a different place now doing a different thing. So maybe the cost is offset and he's happy. I saw pictures of the truck and it really looked good.
That is a beautiful truck. I've always liked that one.
Uh-oh, Mike Anderson. Everyone be careful in this next storm. The guy I meet every night on my shuttle was blown over last week. That sucks.
Oh, man.
Hope he's all right. Hope bad things didn't happen. All that sort of thing. Whew. So,
hey, I've really lucked out with the weather this year, but man, I've been in some places that I've seen the aftermath, and it gets pretty sketchy pretty quick out here.
Right.
When you drive in Canada, Charlie.
Canada. Everything above I-40 is Canada. It's full of Canadians.
Okay, guy.
Hey, guy.
Hey,
anyhow. so I was watching the that IQ video this morning, and there were some interesting numbers on there. I thought where the forecasting is, it's still, I think perspective needs to be put on what's going on right now, right? And they did a pretty good job of kind of breaking it down and explaining what they were talking about. And I will screw it up completely, so just bear with me. The numbers that are producing right now, right, are still typically higher than what we saw in 2016, 17, and 18. They're pretty close to some of it for 17 in some of the markets. I can't remember exactly which market it was. I tend to focus on the van rates and that sort of thing. I kind of gloss over the flatbed and reefer stuff because I need to get better there. I get it. But I focus on what's important to me at that point, and so that's where my focus is. It was an interesting thing. So apparently 2014 is, a banner year for terribleness in the markets. And looking at 16, 17, 18 that were considered kind of not great years, but only because of what 21 and 22 did in the end of 19, 21, 22. When you look at the low volumes that we're looking at as these, oh my God, the sky has fallen volumes right now, the ratios are actually higher than they were previous to 18, 19.
Which ratios?
Yeah, the load to truck ratios. So there are loads available. People are moving load. The thing is, the rates are dropping, right? And the rates are dropping because shippers aren't willing to pay as much right now. They're like, screw it. We're taking a soaking on some of this other stuff, and they're finally getting rid of all this back stock that they have, the surplus of stock that they have, the retailers, things like that. So they were a little more optimistic this week in looking at the bottom and the turnaround, saying middle of second quarter, and they think that will be the bottom, and it will start climbing from there. Now, of course, it's not going to be as great a climb as it has been the last 2 years. People need to realize these last 2 years were not typical years. These were historically unprecedented years for rates and volume. So trying to look at these last 2 years and look at this year, the way it's going right now, we're actually kind of where we should be in the grand scheme of the reality of it, which I thought was interesting when they actually broke it down and looked back at it's. In fact, they went back as far as the 90s. They said, 90s levels, like 96, I think they were talking about, where it was a particularly bad year. Right after the 80s recession was kind of a bad time, and that was when the Fed rates were going up, much like they're going up right now. With the Fed rates going up, and they've already said it's not over the top yet. We are still going to go higher and higher because they're trying to sort out the inflation thing, So I don't know. Let's see. Sorry, that was my bit of a rant on the forecasting for this week. Let's see what we got going on in chat. I apologize.
So this is more. So this might be playing into Charlie, like why we don't feel the crunch as much as some of the, I'll just say it, newer guys.
Right.
Because we've been in business since, in my case, 2007, your case, 2008. And so we went through the 08 crisis, right? Which was pretty bad. And then we had some really good years there. And then we had a slump. And then we had some outstanding years. Those of you that started before COVID, you have only experienced those really fantastic years. Does that sound about right?
Right. Yeah.
And so we're in a 2008 style slump right now. And, I'll beat this horse until it's a bloody pulp way past dead. If you can figure out how to make a living now, when it turns around, let me tell you, Charlie and I will both tell you, we made a lot of money after the recovery from the Great Recession.
Oh, absolutely.
We didn't do very good things with that money.
Right.
I like going on vacation and stuff, but you live and you learn. That's the real danger to me, is those of you guys that make it through this. In the next year or two, you're going to start making more money than you thought you should be making being a truck driver. Make sure you're holding back for the next time this happens.
Right.
Build that savings account up. Trucker's coach, this guy, that guy. So you want to read that, Charlie, because I'm out of it.
I have a question. I was given the opportunity of being on the ERF program, East Regional Freight, nothing east of the Mississippi. It's basically nothing east of 35. So yeah, the rate is a little higher. Would you do that or run OTR freight wise? Can
So
give you two perspectives there. Go.
so I'm in the middle of testing ERF. I live in Utah, so it's a little tougher for me because I have to get back behind the curtain there, as it were. Every time I go home, I leave that area. Every time I go back out, I have to get back to that area within a couple loads, or I'll lose that contract. But here's what I found: freight volumes over there are a little bit better than they are on the West Coast. You're not going to see 1,500-mile loads over there. That's for sure. You're also going to see my empty to loaded ratio went from 8% to 20% as soon as I hit ground over there.
Right.
So I had to reconcile that. You're going to do a lot more empty miles to go grab loads. That's just the nature of the beast over there. However, my bottom line went up by a full 5%. So it depends on your perspective, right? If you're looking at how much money am I going to make, you can expect to make about 5% more on that contract than you do OTR because
some
of
guys
that
do a
higher
little
pay.
better.
Yeah,
Simply
some guys
because
do a
of
little
building
better.
those relationships. So
Right. My perspective is I've only been running it for a couple months, so I do have my list of people to contact, but I'm still building those relationships, right? So it's not like I send a message like, "Oh, Jeff, how you doing?"
right.
I'm not in that position yet. The other
They're
thing
like,
for
hey, new guy.
me, the other thing for me that I have to consider is I'm also testing the load board. Okay, load board freight, that AS 400 load board freight that they have on there, takes me out of the region about every other load if I'm going to run load board freight. So given that, I can make up that 5% bump by using the load board. So if you're trucker's coach, if you're on the load board test team, I would continue using the load board because I'm doing 8 to 1,800-mile pulls off the load board instead of the 500-mile loads that I got on ERF. So I feel like I'm getting a little confusing here, but so you can make more money on it.
I can tell you he's not on the load board.
He's not. Okay. Well, once the load board gets released to everybody, I think that people are going to have to reevaluate their relationship with ERF.
Right.
Because you can either make money on those short haul miles, which is really good money. It's not just the extra 5 cents a mile like people think it is. That I don't have it in front of me, but so the graduated rate schedule for the shorter loads, that gap between OTR and ERF goes like this as you get the shorter miles. So if you can do 200-300-mile loads every single day, dude, you're making bank. I mean, absolutely much better than OTR. Even though you're doing 2 dropping hooks every day, you're making the money to make it worthwhile. Some of the guys that we've talked to that have been running for a while have seen the freight drop off. So they're concerned about that. And they've been asking me if it'd be better to go back to OTR. And I think that if you're not on the load board, I think that that's the crux here. That's the real thing. If you don't have access to that load board, so you can't see what freight is, both in and out of areas, and you've built the relationships that you need to on ERF, it's better to stay on ERF. You're going to make more money.
Yeah. And there has been some minor groans lately from what we've been seeing. Slowed down a little bit. Not sure what it's done this week. Dennis, a couple of other guys in here could probably tell us what's going on a little bit better. Is it picking back up? Is it dropping off? What are you guys seeing right now this week? Because I've been doing Target this week. I just kind of went back to old reliable. Yep, back to fake trucking. Running Target this past week I did only did 3,202 miles for the week on our 5 days, but did okay, wasn't bad. Did a couple days the week before, and I'm going back to work tomorrow and Thursday, and then I'm gonna take a week off, I think so, and then I'll go back to the OTR world again, hopefully, and get that cracking again. Let's see. I pulled a couple off the side.
So Matt, yeah, go ahead.
Craig Hutchinson,
I'll get to Matt in a minute.
said fuel economy on his new Volvo has been great thus far. What are you getting, Craig? If you don't mind.
And please tell me you're using fuel gauges and not a stubby pencil.
Oh, Craig, I'm willing to bet Craig's on gauges
Yeah.
and
So
using
what
max
we
mileage and the whole 9 yards, I'm sure.
So they just put 20 more people on the load board last week. So that gives us a total of
30,
39, 29
29 active users.
people, active users on the load board. That's what they're doing now is they're seeing how it scales, if they can ramp it up. And so they're going to run this 29, 30 people probably through January.
Right.
And then they'll add the rest of the original 100 testers and run that for a month or two. And if everything is still running, they're going to release it. So we're looking probably second quarter next year. If you were putting a gun to my head and making me do a Brett and saying a date,
don't do it.
I would
Don't
say
even stop.
I would say we're looking at around second.
See what I did there?
Hey, I got my words out, man. I got my words out.
Oh man, don't put dates. That's dangerous. And
so Matt's one of those guys. You know, Dennis also. We hear about from these two guys probably more than anybody that's doing ERF. And I know Dennis has let me know that it's dropped off quite a bit in the last few weeks. To honestly, to the point of frustration for him a little bit. I know that. And you know. Matt is backing that up with it's dropping off slowly and consistently. So it's kind of the freight volume over there is dropping a little bit.
And Dennis is saying hit and miss. He stays rolling because of his contacts. So and Dennis has an amazing list of contacts. Like, look, as much of a pain in the ass Dennis is in real life. The dude like can keep moving. Like seriously, like no joke. Look, I check behind him and talk to people about him and several other people because look, it's a way to get a pulse on what's going on, right? And Dennis is very vocal in our group, and so we hear from Dennis a lot. So I check on what's going on with Dennis, right? Dennis knows this, and one thing that is always said about Dennis is Dennis knows how to work the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis can hustle. It's just it's just a matter of doing the hustle, and even Matt says, same for him, that the contacts are critical. And so, I mean, hey, what's going on, Narc? Good to see you, buddy. And beyond that, I mean, look, this industry is about the hustle. Let's just be real. You want to get out there and do a little hustle. You'll probably do a little bit better in the industry, whether you're here, whether you're in any other company. If you sit back on your ass and just wait for things to come to you, well, you're going to get what you put into it, right? Wow.
What?
Look at that,
is
Jeff.
So not me.
Oh man.
I've been hacked. Look at that.
You got people, Jeff. Anyhow, people know the real deal. That's funny though. I feel like I should be offended like there's not one of me. God, man. What the heck? Grumpy old Jeff.
I'm telling you, man.
That was awesome. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Now last question.
So second last question from Trucker's Coach.
He said he was on the Schneider Choice board when it first came out. Can you put together good weeks on Swift board, or is it hit and miss? And will it be mileage or percentage?
It'll be mileage. Let's just get that out there first, because so here's the history of this. Originally, Brett wanted us to start moving towards percentage because he wants to actually compete with the Landstars and people like that. That did not go over with the board of directors very well, and so that is a dead project right now. We're just gonna say it's dead. As far as building stacks, so it's discouraged. We'll say that, and the reason it's discouraged, there is a reason. It's because of freight volumes. We've got Swift is trying to keep 17,000 trucks moving. And the load board allows us to go in and bypass the planners. That's what we're doing. We're taking responsibility for our own business, and by doing that, we are cutting them out completely. And so they don't want us doing stacks simply because it might not be the second load, but maybe it's the third load. Maybe that load was needed to get someone home.
Right.
That's legit. I think that's an honest assessment. Have some of us built stacks for ourselves? Absolutely. Have we been talked to about that? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I tell you what, like again, being from Utah and being on the ERF-ICOA, the Independent Contractors Operating Agreement, right? Being on that contract, I need to get east of the 35 as soon as I can when I leave the house. And so what that means for me is I grab a load from West Valley City, Utah, going to Central California, where I could grab a load going to Mississippi.
Right.
And you bet your bottom dollars I will stack that every single time, because that's what I've got to do to run my business.
Right.
And, I will apologize to them. I will say, sorry, dude.
Right.
They haven't pulled my access, though.
It's that military thing, Jeff.
They probably will tomorrow, now that I've gone public with that. But
it's no, man. It's the military thing, dude. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission sometimes.
It is.
Hey, Mike Henderson had a nice point here. I dig this. I slowed down this week from 70 to 62 in my 2019 Freightliner. I went from 7.9 to 8.6, trying to judge if losing 1 hour and 40 minutes of shutdown time is worth it. Well, I mean, what's that? 7.9 to 8.6 is 0.7 of a mile per gallon.
$7,000 a year.
I mean, just break down good math, man. Easy math right there.
My
have a good night.
My argument on that has always been this: you're running for Swift. Show me a load other than that every once in a while load,
right,
where you have to do 70 miles an hour to make on-time delivery. Do they exist? Absolutely. I get some of them, and I do in my case, I never changed my governor, Charley, that.
Right.
So I'm still governed at the old Mentor requirements from years ago at 68.
Right.
But there's times when, the load is 10 pounds of pallet. It's like a single pallet of something back there, and it's a legit JIT load. Yeah, I'll push that one.
Right.
But by and large, most Swift loads 60 miles an hour, and I'm still there freaking, 4 hours early?
Crazy, really, yeah. Dude, so Rosie and I were running a Target load the other night, right? And it was ready so early, right? Our delivery, our first store's delivery point was 7:30. We got to the store. Mind you, Rosie's doing 55 miles an hour. Stopped, did a 30-minute break, kind of lollygagged around on the way up there, and we were still at the store by 3:30. I was able to get into the store at 20 minutes to 6. I had my entire route done at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were on our way home. Well, okay, wait, 8:30, because I realized that it is now 8 o'clock, and I had made Rosie a deal that if I didn't have the stores done by 8 o'clock, I would go in and do some grocery shopping beforehand. And right at 8 o'clock, when I was getting ready to leave the damn parking lot, I realized it's 8 o'clock, so, and because then she would have been like, hey, were you at the store at 8 o'clock? And I'd have been like, yeah. And she'd be like, well, why didn't you go shopping like you said you would for me? And I'd be like, because I'm a jerk face. And I didn't want to be a jerk face. So I went in the store and did shopping. And then I left. But yeah, anyhow. So, I mean, look, 55 miles an hour. We got like almost 10 miles per gallon that trip. It was ridiculous.
So this is a legitimate thing to put out there. Don't go to the reefer side OTR, because those 70 miles per hour loads are a lot more common on that side. Yeah, I mean,
right.
What Charley and I do, generally speaking, is drive in. And so that's what we're more of an expert at. Absolutely, whether it's reefer or flatbed or whatever, you got to adjust to do what that operation is going to require you to do. Now, do you make more money doing that, would be my question, or does it matter because you just love reefer so much?
Hold on, Jeff. Hold that thought. Andre needs some attention. Andre, I see you, sir. It's good to see you, sir. It's been a while, and I appreciate you, but I like your other half better. How's that? Ha! I apologize.
Okay.
Yes, please continue.
Wow. So yeah.
Oh,
So
my
yeah,
bad.
so you gotta do what's best for your operation, right? And if you're not loving it so much, look for other opportunities. I mean, that's just the way we do it.
Just so people know, when Jeff or I actually type in chat, it will come up as Contractor's Corner typing and not our actual names in the chat. So I'm just going to throw that out there. You were getting picked on today, sir. Oh,
Okay.
Lord. Oh, man. You're welcome. Something. I don't know. Oh, Lord. It's going to be one of them days. Jonah Green said, when are we getting this load board they've been talking about? Well, you missed it just a couple minutes ago. We were talking about Jonah. We are actively testing it. They're adding 20 new testers this week. They're going to slowly implement it to the original 100 testers we had and slowly roll it out, and then they'll start opening up to the rest of the fleet. We just got to make sure that it can handle the stress and all that sort of thing. And so, yeah, be patient. It's coming. It's not that far off at this point now. Things are actually working. People are booking loads and things are happening. Just saying.
Yeah.
Andre says, no, I love you guys. We love you, man. Oh, Lord. Jeff has a fan club.
Apparently.
I don't have a fan club. I need a fan club. Why don't I have a fan club? It's the hair. Is it the hair? Are you discriminating against me because of my hair? Look, I choose to shave my head. Yeah, it recedes a little bit. Getting older, whatever, but whatever. It's pretty hair. He gets a fan club and stuff. Anyhow. Look, y'all can mess with us. You know what? Hey, y'all be you, whatever. You ain't going to hurt our feelings. I personally think it's funny, but I'm also not being messed with right now. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Look, I'm tired. Bear with me. Mike Henderson, let's get back to reality. Making an extra 9,000 a year in comparison to losing 300 hours a year of shutdown rest year. Making an extra 9,000 a year.
I mean, that's legit. You gotta decide which one it is, right? I mean, I just talked to a guy the other day when I was at the Phoenix terminal. I mentioned the slowing down thing. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that."
Right.
and I'm like, "Well, I'm going to disagree with you, just so you know." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." It's just, and he just likes. He's one of those people. He goes 70 miles an hour everywhere he goes, and it simply is because he wants to get to where he's going.
Right.
Shut his truck down, and do his relax thing. That's what he does, and he knows and he knows exactly what it's costing him in dollars.
That's legit. As long as you're aware of it and you're not crying about it.
He just doesn't care. He values that downtime more than the $9,000 a year. And I'm like,
now, mind you,
I really can't say anything about that.
After the $9,000 a year, let's keep in mind too. That is the simple napkin math that we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not accounting for your wear and tear, excessive wear and tear on tires, on engine components, on all of those things.
Right.
The studies that have shown that actually driving slower decreases your stress level, which keeps you actually in a more comfortable state of mind. Better heart rates. I mean, all these other things, these stress levels come down, things like that. I mean, it's I don't know. There's so many more things that you can throw into that $9,000 a year, and again, as long as you know what that extra speed is costing you, hey man, do it. Just, you can't get mad if there's a way for you to increase your bottom line. If that would actually do that for you. Some guys, slowing down won't increase their bottom line. They're losing because of whatever it is that they're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, and hopefully you're being compensated for driving faster.
Yeah.
With what we do, that's not the case most times.
Yeah, that was all the way back to when I was first learning all this stuff. Probably the most influential person in teaching me the business was Kevin Rutherford when he was on the XM radio, right? And he would say that, if you have this load and you need to do 70, 80 miles an hour down the road, that better be built into your rate. That extra fuel, that extra wear, know your numbers enough to where you can build that into a rate if you're out there on your own negotiating. When you're on a mileage contract like us, there's not a whole lot of negotiation there. So what do? You need to do things to decrease your overhead to increase your bottom line.
All right, Church Coach has one more last question.
Okay.
He said, okay, I forgot something. On load board, when you book a load, does it send it straight to the point app, or is there a waiting period, etc.?
There's a waiting period. That's something that they still need to work on. The way it's going through the system properly until that last end step. So I contact my OOC and say, hey, I just booked this load. Can you get it pushed to my Zonar for me? Right. So I actually see the pre-plan so I can actually plan ahead of time. And that's what it takes to get it on the Zonar. Now, if you're to that point where you've done an empty call, it does automatically dispatch you like any other load. It just does, You just don't get the pre-plan.
And Jonah asked, will the cents per mile go up or stay the same? As of right now, it's whatever our contracted rates are, Jonah. So, yeah, take that for what it's worth.
But I could tell you one of the big things. Charlie's not using it right now because he's a fake trucker.
Right, fake trucking.
But one of the things that even he does is we'll go out there and just look at it. And look at different markets and see what's going on out there. And so what's nice is those of you that have been around a while, remember the old bubble map. You could call your OOC and say, hey, what's freight looking like in LA today? Right. They tell you, overbooked or underbooked by so much. Well, now I could just go to the load board, plug in Los Angeles, California within 100 miles and see what's available.
Hey, look, I got one, Jeff. I got one. I got my own.
Hey, there you go. But yours is
Look at that. And apparently I need to shine my head for next week. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, baby. I'm going to have to take a razor too. I have arrived, y'all.
Get some of that turtle wax.
Narc brought me friends. That's what I'm saying. Appreciate you, Narc. You're all right, man. I don't care what anyone says about you. Oh, Lord. Craig said that Kevin Rutherford was his savior. I mean, been following him from day one and glad that he learned to do the hard work. And look, I mean, we preach a lot of the same things. I mean, that's where I got a lot of the things that I follow. Right. I mean, credit where credit is due, the guy has always had a lot of really good advice to give people. And that's, I mean, the great deal of what we say it comes from him and people like him.
The only real beef I've got with Kevin is that he actually uses do the hard work as his tagline, so we can't really use it.
Right.
Ours. And that's just such a great tagline because
it really is.
For those of you that didn't listen to him back in the day, do the hard work is what he would tell people. And what he meant by that was know your numbers, know your business, read a book, for crying out loud.
Right.
For a lot of people
to further your business.
For a lot of people, reading a book, that's a lot of hard work. Right. But
unless it's on audio, I ain't reading it. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah. I'll be real.
Well, that's something that I think we should point out is that when you're learning stuff, you got to know how you learn. Like I learn really well by reading print material. Charley learns better by listening and visuals. And so you got to learn how you learn, and use it. There's a lot of free stuff out there. A lot of courses on business you can take, and it would absolutely help you.
Yeah. And dude, so in Audible, I used to go through almost nothing but business books and going through some of these master classes and things.
I ruined them.
Look, they're great, seriously, they're great. Between Jeff Prod and me and Kevin Rutherford back in the day pushing audio, and now I'm on these Expeditionary Force. I finished it and I'm so sad.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good ending though, guys.
It was a good ending.
If you're only halfway through, man, the ending's good. I liked it.
Oh Lord. But yeah, so the audiobooks for me, I am absolutely an Audible learner, man. I can read the same sentence over and over 10 times. and have to go back and read it again because whatever that switch in my head doesn't work. I've been like that since I was a little kid. If I had a teacher that lectured, I could sit there and hold 3 conversations going at one time with people in class and piss off the teacher while they're lecturing. They'd ask me a question, I'd answer and go right back to my conversation like nothing even happened, and it drove them nuts. If I had to read it, I couldn't answer jack. So, I love audiobooks, and now that I'm starting to run out of fun books to listen to, I'll probably go back to some business books that I need to get back into to kind of refocus myself. I've got some changes I'm going to be making in my operation this year. Maybe we'll talk about those later on next quarter or something like that and see how things have gone. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that we can do. We've got all this time riding down the road. Audiobooks are just amazing for that, whether it's just ways to either escape from the world while staying focused on the road, of course, or using some of that time to further your knowledge, your education, what have you. I mean, there's a lot of time that we can use and put towards those sort of things. So,
okay, now I've really done it. Jeff Morton, you are a jerk. Don't mess with Dr. Seuss. I'm just saying. Do not mess with the good doctor.
Damn it, Jeff. What is wrong with you, man? Oh. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. This is going to be fun. Woo. So, hey, if you guys got any questions, by all means, please throw them up. We'll get to them as quick as we can. Look, now we
made Rosie laugh.
You guys even got Rosie laughing. We appreciate y'all for making Rosie laugh because, look, that's my goal every day, to make that woman right there laugh. She is my, oh, I love her so much. I can't help it. Woo! Jason Cap, gentlemen, ladies, and trolls, have a good night. Be safe. Have a Merry Christmas. Back at you, Jason. Be careful. Take care of that truck, brother, man. I sure do like that truck. I'm not going to lie. I don't want the fuel miles, but I love that truck. I love the looks of those trucks. Always have. Woo! Good Lord. Oh, man. Look. Rosie's putting up little hearty smiley faces and stuff. She says she loves me too. I believe her. Unless y'all know something different. You need to tell me something? Just saying. Oh, Lord. Anyhow. Slightly off the rails, Jeff. Help me. Bring me back in. I've got
nothing, man. I got nothing.
Wait, there was something else. Oh, Alan, there was one earlier. Alan did a Coors load from Phoenix to Elkton, Virginia. Took 40 all the way, weighed 42,000 pounds, 2,216 miles, did 8.3 miles per gallon. Still profited $23.70. Just saying. That was going back to heavy loads and driving slow and that whole thing. So, we have quite a few people from time to time who pop in here and say things like, oh, I won't take heavy loads and this and that. Well, there you go, guys. I'm just saying it's profitable. Bitcoin John, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Bitcoin John's in the house, y'all. Matt, Matt said, hey. Anyhow, if you guys got questions, throw them up. I never did change the fuel surcharge banner. I forgot to put that one up. My bad. I have it. Look, it's right there. It's all ready to go and everything. Just never clicked on the button. I gotta get used to these new buttons, Jeff. They're just in a different spot. So it's weird. Nobody cares about that, do they, but me?
No, they don't.
Man. Hey, for any of you guys who aren't unaware of this insurance program we're trying to get built for us, if you haven't done so already, send us an email to insurance@contractorscorner.network. Send your driver's license number, your full name, and your date of birth, and the state of your driver's license. So we can. What we're trying to do is build a risk picture with the insurance folks that we're working with, and we need 200 people to get in on this list so they can build us a package that will work to replace the insurance that is currently offered by Swift to us with no camera requirement. So we need your help.
So you want to segue into my meeting with Brett this week a little bit?
Absolutely. Right into it. Go.
So I had a face-to-face with Brett this week, specifically to talk about insurance and a couple of things. And he did mention that it was okay for me to whatever with the meeting. So we're going to just go into it a little bit. I asked him about the possibility of us doing a payroll deduct type deal like they do with the health insurance. And what I found out about that is they're going to stop doing that next year, even for the health insurance. They're completely getting out of the paying our bills for us and then getting the money back later thing. So that's something you guys are going to need to find out about here in the next probably couple quarters. So that's not going to be able to be a thing that we can do. As far as supporting us in this endeavor, the best he can offer us is the OOCs know to refer guys to us that are concerned about the insurance.
Right.
So, I got the impression, Charlie, that during this conversation that, we've talked about this before. Since Knight took over the company, there is no more Papa Swift.
Right.
We are expected to run our own businesses. And this is just another step towards that. They're not going to, do whatever you want, guys, but you're a contractor. That's on you. And that's really the way it should be. We have struggled to be in this classification where we're contractors and not employees. Well, this is part of it, guys. No more Papa Swift. Don't expect them to do anything outside the contract. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and I'm going to have to ask for Charlie's help because I always forget names. Brett wants those of you that are going to stay with the Chubb Insurance to seriously look at which camera, Charlie?
Sansara.
The Sansara camera. And he had some legitimate reasons for that.
And they're good reasons.
To the point of he alluded to, but as the vice president of a section of the company couldn't quite say, if you have a smart drive camera now, get rid of it and buy the Sansara camera. And the big reason was that with smart drive, it's an all-in package. They have no control over which features are turned on that camera.
And everything's turned on that damn thing.
It's a big subscription for their whole fleet that is not necessarily good for owner-operators, right? With the Sansara camera, they can go in and say, we want these features turned on for these trucks because they are owner-operators. They are not employees. So things like the audio will be turned off. The hardcore coaching will be turned off. He also said that camera has a really cool feature that he thinks, and I'll leave it up to you guys. Charlie and I still have our opinion on any company cameras. We want to be clear about that. We do not like the company having control over our cameras at all. But if you're down with some of that stuff, right? The Sansara camera has active coaching as part of its platform. So things like, let's say you're changing lanes, you don't turn on your blinker. The naggy function, the little voice will say, turn on your turn signal.
Right.
You're following too close. You're encroaching on a lane. It'll tell you that stuff. So here's the take from the company on that, our customer on that. This allows owner-operators to self-coach, which would mean that there's no reason for the company to do any coaching.
They don't want to coach, not coach us.
Right.
I've already heard that directly from people in powerful positions say those words. They don't want to do this.
Right. They do not. They don't want any part of that. They're kind of being forced. That might be strong language, but I think, they're being forced by the insurance company to be the coach.
Oh, yeah. They were told by the insurance company flat out, yeah, you guys are going to have to do it. Sorry, we're not doing it.
So what the Sansara camera will allow you to do, if you choose to stay with the program, is it will give you a heads up. However, the other side of that is if you do not correct that behavior and the camera system starts seeing a pattern, right, it will absolutely alert Swift.
And then you're going to have a talk.
Then you're going to have the talk about coaching, not coaching.
Right. If this pattern continues, your contract is in jeopardy because we will no longer be able to insure you. Without insurance, you cannot be contracted here. So get your own insurance and avoid the entire process.
The other thing that Brett hinted at, he actually said this, so I'll quote him. In the past, a lot of us, Charlie and I included, the reason why we've stuck with Swift Insurance is because we couldn't. I mean, we both of us went out there and looked, and it was just, we were piggybacking on Swift's big discount for their huge fleet and benefiting from that. And Brett thinks that with this new 6% increase, that will no longer be the case.
Right.
So keep that in mind when you're shopping around. That the even Brett is saying, look, with this 6% increase, I don't know, you might be able to just get a better rate out there now. So that's the main points of the conversation I had with him. I thought it was a good conversation. He gave us some good information that we could put out there. The highlight again to me is if you're going to stick with the Swift program, and you have a smart drive, get rid of it and buy the Sensora camera.
Right.
I think it's a better system from what he's talking about. They are also looking at other camera systems continually. They're not just 100% in the tank for these 4 cameras.
It's just what they have now as their approved ones.
Right. So, it's different when you talk to these people face to face, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a total.
You get past kind of some of the bullshit. Oops.
Right.
When you're talking to them, a lot of times when I talk to Brett, it's over coffee. It's not even in his office. It's just talking. And I would encourage you guys, when you're in Phoenix, walk over there and talk to these people. They don't bite. Get to know some of these people. Talk to Brett. If he has time, he will absolutely talk to you.
Yeah, just understand they are busy. I mean, they do have their regular jobs to do. So, take what time you get and make good use of it.
Yeah. Ask some of these questions that you feel like you need answers to.
Hey, Dennis, Lewis, real quick. Bad thing about the camera, we have to pay for it to be installed. And in my opinion, if the company wants us to have it, they should pay for the installation, not us. Need to fix you on something there, Dennis. Swift does not want us to have a camera. This is not a Swift requirement. This is an insurance requirement. The insurance company themselves are requiring the camera to keep the rates at what they're going to be set at come January, whatever those rates are. If you do not want their camera and do not want to pay to install it, and you do not want their insurance, then simply do what we're doing. And I know you've already done that. You've sent your information. You're a part of the folks we already have on the list to try and build this risk picture. But for anyone else who is of the same opinion that if they want us to have it, they should pay for it. Well, guess what? It's your camera. It's your business. You install it if you want to keep their insurance.
Yeah. And I'll say something else too, Dennis. You're buying the camera. So Charlie and I were talking about this the other day after my meeting with Brett. I'm actually considering taking one for the team here and getting that camera to see if I get any coaching, not coaching experiences.
Right.
If I do, or if this insurance thing that we're working on the side ends up being a better deal, and I bought that camera, guess what? I own that camera.
Right.
I just keep that camera in the truck, and it's mine. And the subscription that Chubb has for it ends, and they stop sending stuff to Swift.
Right.
So you're going to own the camera, and my camera of choice is that Falcon Eye, which is an $800 camera not installed.
Right.
And they're going to install this one for $500, all in. So it's a reasonable. It is a reasonable price, I think, for what it is. And it's something that let's say you got it in your mind that you could go get your own authority, right? Which people do. We see it all the time. And you've paid for that camera. Guess what? You have a camera.
And it's a top end camera. I mean,
Yeah. My only beef with that camera, Charlie, is that it's only a single view.
But it is expandable.
That. Is it? I didn't see that.
I believe the Sensora was one of the expandable camera systems. It's just an
so I'm wondering if we can pay for it.
I think it's a plug and play upgrade.
So I could get a couple cameras and put them out there.
Tell you what, I'll try and take a quick peek see if I can find it again.
Dennis, yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. It's the black box camera system, not the cloud one, but just the black box, and it supports up to 6 cameras. Actually, I'm only going to get 3 because I want the forward facing and I want the 2 on the mirrors. I think that's a really good setup for us. If I owned my trailer, right, I would probably get 4 and put one on the back of the trailer too. But we don't own our trailers, and even those Wi-Fi ones that you are just magnetic and you stick back there, I just forget to take it off.
Right? Seriously.
Somebody would end up with a camera. So
the way I've gone through enforcer locks in the past.
Oh yeah.
Good Lord. Can you imagine? Oh, I'd be so upset. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking through these dash cams to see if what I remember was right or not. I can't remember if I saw it or not.
Yeah,
there was a
we'll
couple different options.
But yeah, my opinion on the camera did change slightly after that meeting. So that's when Charlie and I started talking about maybe taking one for the team, and seeing what the program really looks like in the wild. And I don't know. I'm still not 100% comfortable with it.
Right.
You guys know my opinion of that stuff. But I don't know. I'm warmer more to it a little bit, Charlie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't want to open myself up like that to put my business at risk. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, maybe it wasn't one of the ones. I'm not seeing an option there. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to do some deeper digging on it to figure it out. Links to the correct camera on Facebook, please. We can do our best to get that out to you, man. Oh, Rosie's gonna go play Let's Dance with the kiddos. God, I should go set up. I should set up a second camera out there, and we can watch her dance to Let's Dance with the kids. That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
We'd probably finally, break a billion views then.
I bet you we'd actually get a like or 2.
Right? Someone might have actually hit a thumbs up for us for once. I'm just saying. Hint, hint, whatever. Oh, I like CW's advice. Jeff, for backing up, just buy one of those extending brush handles and put the camera on the end of it.
Hey, there you go.
That'd be great. Stretching it out there. I saw some people using drones. I'm like, man, that's some high tech stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's beyond me, man.
Right? I'm like, man, that's a lot of work. Nick Earl said, them locks ain't cheap. That's for real, man. I went through 2 of those in a week. In fact, I went through 2 of those in 2 days one time.
I did that.
And I was a little sad.
You know what's sad about that? When I did it, Charlie, I was doing Opelika.
Oh, that's even worse.
And by the time I parked and I forgot my lock. Went back out there, my trailer was already gone. And so that they cut that lock right away.
Hey, midlife trucker, we appreciate it, buddy. Hey, look, hint, hint. What? Hey, appreciate you, man. Look. The only reason we ask for that stuff is it helps us reach more people. I don't know if you guys are real familiar with what's going on with the YouTube's analytics stuff, all the geeky nerd stuff in the background. But basically, those thumbs up tell them that, oh, people like this video. Maybe we should show other people this stuff. So, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that thumbs up, all that stuff. Look, I'm going to do a thing that I don't normally do, but I'm going to do it for fun because I haven't done it in a while. But look, I left a comment up so you can't even see it. So you don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. Bam, hit that subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell. Hit the thumbs up, all that good stuff. Anyhow, whatever. I'm done with that.
Trucker Dan, my Volvo has a camera in the front window. Is the camera the smart drive camera? Most likely, I'm going to say. I don't think they've started deploying the newer cameras yet, have they?
Not that I'm aware of.
No. Well, and if you didn't pay for it, it's absolutely a smart drive because that's what they were putting in the leased trucks.
It's a small little camera, right?
Yeah.
So there you go, Dan. I would bet that it's the smart drive because that's what they have on hand still right now.
And Brett literally said that the Smart Drive is probably the worst camera that a owner operator could have. I mean, he just put that out there. So look at the other cameras if you're going to stay with the Swift Insurance.
I've done that too there, Tom Bell. Because like you said, after you lose a couple of them, you learn that lesson. Go back. And I hate going backwards, y'all. You just don't even understand. But for that damn lock, I will do it. So look, Tom Bell said he's at another carrier and he's had the Sansar for quite a while. Wow. It certainly coaches you. So, hey,
Tom,
Tom,
I'd be interested to know more about that.
Hey, Tom, if you got a second and you got a minute, I'd actually be interested to hear from you. If you think you would be cool doing it, maybe you could call that number on the screen right there, 813-548-3722, 813-LIVE-SEC. If you call that number, we'll take your call, and maybe you could actually talk to us about your experience with it, because I'd really like to know how it works.
I'd like to know if it's one of those things where you get used to it after all, or if it's just perpetually annoying and you want to throw it out the window.
Is it like a naggy thing? Is it talking to you while you're driving? Is it someone calling you? Something like that? That'd be some good information, man. I'd love to hear from you if you wouldn't mind giving us a call and letting us hear your opinion on it. Because I mean, look, this Sansara thing is new to us, so yeah. I'm not looking forward to anything coaching me. But I got to tell you, in this 23 truck with the lane departure stuff and all that kind of stuff, I'm not going to lie. It's I feel, and Jeff will tell you that when he got into his 16 and it started kind of nagging him on some stuff, that it forced him to be a better driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it's actually making me pay more attention to my lane position and following distance and things like that. And I really believe that it's making me a better driver. And look, I've got my bad habits like everybody else out there. I'm not infallible. So I like. It's annoying to hear that brr, and you're like, damn it. I hate that it reads lines that aren't there, and that annoys the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that when I first got it, every time that damn thing went off, I was on the white line, because that's the way I've always driven. I've always driven on the fog line. That's kind of the way I was taught to drive. It gives more separation between me and that lane next to me, even if it's a millisecond. It was just another millisecond to deal with. So, it's hey, we got Tom Bell on the phone. Let's take this call real quick if you guys don't mind, Jeff. Let's see. Should be transferring now. We should have Tom. Tom, are you there, buddy?
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, man. Good to hear you. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So
I've got the Samsara. I'm with Cheeseman LLC, and I was here for 18 months. I left for 6 months to do lease.
Okay.
And then I came back about 4 weeks ago. So I've been experiencing the camera for about 2 years.
Nice.
Your safety department, now in your case, if you have access, you'd be the one turning on and off certain coaching.
Right.
But they can turn off or on remotely the coaching, such as the speed.
Right.
And it uses GPS to tell what the speed should be. It is not always right. For example, 75 near Corbin, Kentucky, or near Pioneer, Kentucky, it constantly thinks you're speeding when the speed limit is like 60. You're doing 55 because you can't go any faster.
Right.
It thinks you're speeding.
Interesting.
So it does have its errors.
Right.
And if you report the errors to safety, they generally correct them sometimes.
Okay.
It's got a few other things it sets off too. If you do a Hollywood stop at a stop sign, it'll let you know.
All right.
And if you do a right on red, sometimes it thinks you ran the light.
Well, that seems to me like that would be a easily correctable thing. Like if you did get the coaching, not coaching type call, you could they'd see it and go, oh yeah, you did stop. Okay, cool. And it's not going to ding you type of deal, right?
Right.
Okay, cool.
No, and this company doesn't really ding us for that stuff anyway.
Right. No, that's fair, and that's what Jeff was saying that with Brett Stewart, our VP, when they were talking, that they're actually wanting to turn off some of the coaching stuff that is so prevalent in the smart drive. I like that word. I don't know why, but it's very intrusive, right? I mean, the
Now,
smart.
how it records, right?
Well, our experience with Smart Drive and a couple other systems that I've read is it's constantly recording, and it just pulls those bits and highlights those bits that have an alert
tag
set
on
to
it.
those type of things.
Yeah.
But your safety department can actually go back and review, and it records about 40 hours
Right.
of when the truck is running.
Right.
So, for example, and it saved my butt once, somebody reported that I drove too close to him or cut him off or something.
Right.
And my safety department was able to look back, and it was 2 days earlier, and they were able to look back and see that car had actually passed me on the right when there was no lane.
Nice.
In front of me, and then got mad because I gave them some horn
Right.
when they came across my front.
Rightfully done,
And
sir.
so the video cleared me in that case.
No, and look, Jeff and I are advocates for cameras. Our thing is we don't like company controlled cameras, right? We by all means think that every truck out here should have a camera in it because most of the crap that we get tagged with is not our fault. But without that video proof, you're screwed,
Yeah.
And so
I'm actually running 3 cameras.
There you go. And like with the Falcon Eye system,
I have my own rec thing.
Nice.
As well as the company camera.
Like with the Falcon Eye camera that we're talking about, they have a black box system, and I think you can get like a full week's worth of video, possibly more. I mean, and even that's upgradable. So you can have like a ton of video backup, of what's happened, and be able to go back and say, hey, Swift says, or whatever company, says, hey, we got a report you did this, and you can pull up the video and timestamp, GPS location, the whole 9 yards, and say, no, sir, this is what really happened. And that's what we're advocating. But again, we definitely appreciate you calling in about, your experience with that. So you're saying that, like, if you're let's say you're a little too close, your following distance isn't what maybe it should be according to whatever the camera is setting at, is it giving you like an audible alert or something like that as well?
I don't ever get that one because I'm a cruise control driver, and
right. Me too.
I never let it get close enough for it to trigger because the cruise control will, back me off before I ever get that close.
Right. I love this new cruise control, man. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, man.
I set it at 60
sweet.
and stop and go traffic, and it stops and it goes and it stops and it goes, and it's great, and I never touch the pedals.
Have you played with the Falcon Eye at all?
I have not yet. It is the camera I want, just based on everything I've seen.
Yeah, Alan Becker, one of our members, has one.
I think they've improved recently, but the resolution wasn't. I used it originally because I use a rec thing. It's what I use on my window to get all my YouTube videos.
Right.
But I used to use a Falcon Eye, but the resolution just isn't there, especially at night. Now, I've heard they've improved, but at night, that thing, the infrared on it just wipes out about everything.
So
it goes black and white at night,
Right. I saw somebody recently put up a video showing the Sansara at, I guess it was at sunset, and I wasn't real impressed with it either. I mean, what's been your experience with that in the nighttime and that sort of thing?
The videos I've received from safety are pretty damn clear.
Yeah, nice.
And way too clear.
But, you're right.
Even at night. Now, the only time it's bad is when you are going towards the sun, either heading east in the morning or west in the evening, and it has like a starburst effect right across the whole thing. The processor in there is probably not real good because it gets that black spot, because of the sun.
Right.
But again, you're doing this because it's a safety issue, and you don't build the church for Easter Sunday. I know we all want to have video all the time,
right?
But do we care about that one particular one-off time where it might not work well?
Right.
Now, some companies have an internal camera with it. When I was at Arter, their cameras, they had an internal and external.
Right.
Same Samsara camera, but it had an internal, different model number, obviously.
Right.
Now, ours were covered up because we were elite.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, there was some big
But if you don't want
nasty
to
stuff that happened with those.
yourself,
There was some big nasty stuff that happened with those inward facing cameras. So that's not even a thing.
Yeah.
It's on our end. So
Yeah, they don't even have those on the company trucks anymore because of that.
if you ever wanted just a camera to cover yourself or to get some YouTube video and things like that, the Rexing cameras, REXING, are cheap. The 4K is $99, and the one that has the GW for the the speed and everything,
right.
it's like $139.
Nice.
And they are really good quality, and I keep a week's worth of footage. I have 7 SD cards, and I change them out every day.
I keep
And
trying
that
to
way
put
I
one in
have
my truck.
56 cards.
I keep trying to put one in the truck facing
Keep
in,
trying.
and my wife is absolutely against it because I want it for the comedy factor, because there is some funny shit that happens between her and I as we're driving, because I am just constantly bugging the hell out of her, whether I'm driving or not. I'm just, it's fun. You got to kill time, right? And I think there's a YouTube channel there all by itself. So she is adamant that is not going to happen. So I'm kind of screwed there.
Yeah. Well, my Rexing is an outward facing.
Right.
But I used it to get YouTube video, and it gets me very clear video.
Nice.
And it's already protected me at Millis when I first started, first company I was with. Somebody backed into me in a truck stop, and if I hadn't had that camera safety, would have said, "Oh, you must have hit something,"
right?
And I would have just been screwed.
And that's why I'm such a fan
video.
of cameras. Honestly, I just in the current age, the litigation age that we live in, right? We are automatically at fault unless we can prove otherwise. And these cameras, Swift will tell you that it has gotten them out of some nasty, and I mean big, lots of zero type lawsuits that they would have settled or lost in court had they not had the camera footage.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the good thing about the Samsara is it records all that data at the top. Top right, you're going to have your speed. It's got with the speed. It's got with I think it's whether the lights are on. It's got like several things in the top corner. And of course the direction and the location. And it can tell things like if you're braking, you're going to see that speed coming down and it's
right.
It is delayed. The speed is not exact, but it is definitely a help.
Right.
And I don't know how you guys are going to work with Swift, but if you're on the scene of an accident, our company actually wants us to call safety so they can download the footage and email it to the officer on scene.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Which could prevent you from even getting the ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Or like some of us are talking about, with that giant, like Alan said, a 2 terabyte black box. There's actually a way for us to just be able to do the same thing without safety being involved. I mean, they're going to be involved anyhow if there's an accident. Let's be real.
The one I'm looking at actually has an LCD screen that you can.
Right.
Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to it, and I'm going to go back to listening.
Appreciate you, Tom. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
All right. Bye.
You got called out, Charlie.
I know. Chris the trucker, man. What are you trying to say? Did Charlie just advocate for autonomous trucks, not using the pedals and letting the truck do the driving? Look, I still hold the wheel.
Steering wheel holder.
Heck yeah, man.
Hey, so I'm gonna use this to springboard on something. So you guys have heard us talk a little bit about those autonomous trucks and the electric trucks and stuff. And Charlie and I are on record that we would like to be the first Swift contractors to lease one of those.
I would dig it. I think it'll be interesting.
No matter what your opinion is on these rigs, they are coming, and I think there's money to be made there. And we're all about the money.
Infrastructure built. Come on, man. There's
gold in
them hills, yo.
Although that was something that you were mentioning, Charlie, because I didn't watch that video, but the video with
I still haven't gone back to watch the whole damn thing.
So they were trying to put 100 electric trucks in like Arupa or something like that, and the city basically told them, we can't do that.
Yeah, it was the electric company said it. They just don't have the infrastructure on site to be able to charge. It was either 100 or 1,000 trucks or some weird number, and they're like, it just you can't do that. It's just we don't have the infrastructure to supply that type of electricity demand. So I mean that's a thing. Roland said, I remember you mentioning a dateline for adding the cameras to a truck. What month is that? So the new insurance requirements go into effect on January 1st. The deadline to have it all set up and finalized is April 1, is what dates we were told.
That's our drop dead date. That's when we have
Right.
to have made a decision and acted, is by April 1st.
So,
Which I think that's an unfortunate date for them to pick, but whatever.
Yeah, right.
We're all going to pay $500 each for these cameras on April 1st. They're going to say April Fools. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
No.
So Alan says he's got a 8-inch screen and a 2 terabyte black box. He can watch his remotely live also, plus and send video at any time. So he pull and send video at any time. So there you go.
Right.
There's a lot of rolling. Sounds like a joke, but yeah. I mean, it's not that we don't want cameras. We just want. I don't want my customer controlling my camera.
Yep.
It's just a line I would rather not cross, So that's why we're trying to get this insurance stuff built up. And like I said, if you haven't already and you're interested and you'd like to help us build this thing, the individuals that we're working with,
those guys.
Yeah, those guys. I can't remember his name. Tony, right? Tony. God. Man, Tony,
2 old men talking trucking.
Man, so yeah, Tony Dennis at what was it called? I got it. It's there. Nope, it slipped away out of my head. Good Lord, I'm terrible. Anyhow, his agency is trying to put together a package for us for Swift Contractors, and what we need is 200 of verified Swift contractors to build a risk picture. If we can get those folks to send the information we need to get that risk picture built, he believes that he can get us a quote for insurance with better coverage, more separation between us and Swift, which protects us and Swift, and do it at a lower cost than what Swift is offering now through their current offering of insurance. So, just saying. There's that thing.
Right. So I want to touch on this real quick.
Yep, I know exactly where you're going to go here. Yeah, I just read that too.
So there's another option, the camera mandate from the company that no one is considering, not advocating for it. But what about a lawsuit? So I don't think there's a lawsuit here, man. And the reason is that our contract does not state we have to have their insurance. We don't have to have their insurance. It's not a requirement.
That's like period exclamation. We don't have to have their insurance.
And aside from my not being very appreciative of lawsuits to begin with, that just the legal thing there, I just don't think there is one.
Right.
If Swift was saying if you're contracted us, you have to take our insurance, then absolutely there would probably be potential there, but I don't think there is because of that one thing. We don't have to have it.
Hey, by the way, Alan said that the QT in Nashville is $359. If you're running through there, sounds like a good price. In fact, that's a really good price. I was happy to get $399 the other day because I was using the Con Data card and paid $399 in just south of Birmingham at the QT. QTs are my jam when I'm not using the ES Advantage card. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're usually are beating just about everybody.
At least as far as there's a couple mom and pops I've seen along my routes over the last 2 weeks that beat them by like a penny or two, but they're sketchy places to me, man. I'm like, I don't know about that spot. Yeah. I don't have any extra fuel filtered with me right now. So, I mean, it's something. James said he sent some information for the insurance. Yep. I got you, buddy. We've got I can tell you we have 61 people. We need 200 guys. So if you're out there talking to contractors, you're at a fuel island and you see another Swift contractor, bring it up to him, man. Point him to the group in Facebook and point him to the channel. Give him the link for the email. Tell him what it's all about. Get him in contact with us, man. We'll talk to him. We're gonna start posting this information everywhere we can just to get as many people as we can. So
Yeah, we're going to start hitting up the company's Facebook pages here next week. So,
And Tom Bell, that's actually true. The contract does specify that we have to use our Arizona arbitration rather than a lawsuit up front anyhow. So there you go. That's a thing. I mean, people don't fall back to the contract, and there's lawyers out there who just ignore your contract that you signed that won't stand up well in court.
yep.
But they'll take your time and your money.
They absolutely
Don't think
will.
they won't. They may even do it on a contingency and say, hey, we won't charge you nothing if we don't win. You're going to lose time and money. I'm just saying. Lose money and time. I guess it's a better way to say it. Turker Dan said, do we have to come up with the $500 up front and will Swift take it out of our settlement?
There will be a payment plan from what we've been told.
Right.
We don't know what that payment plan will be. Or you can just use your maintenance money to do it, or you can stroke a check. Nobody takes checks anymore. I don't know why I say that. I'm dating myself.
Oh, man.
But they have indicated there will be several options for payment on that.
So yeah, if you guys got any other questions, by all means, throw them up. We will get to those questions as quick as we can. And yeah, so what are you guys seeing out there this week? Because like I said, I haven't been out there this week. I know we got some nasty, nasty weather coming.
Oh, man.
Jeff's off till after the first of the year, I believe.
Yep.
I
I'm
think
on my winter vacation.
I think I'm going to be off for at least a week, maybe till the first of the year as well. We haven't really decided yet, man. I got 2 more days of work. I'm working tomorrow night and Thursday night, and then we're coming home Friday. So, oh look,
Thank you,
Jeff.
Charley.
I love you, man. I love you so much.
Now I know it's really you.
See, that's cool. Look. You think you're messing with me? You ain't messing with me. I got no problem telling a man I love him. Y'all act like it's bad. I am a hugger.
He's a hugger.
Look, you can ask Matt Nissen about that.
Oh,
That's a big giant man that if you don't want to hug him, I think there's something wrong with you. Because when you hug that man, you find safety in the world. You just get buried in it. You're just like, oh man, nothing can hurt me now. I'm safe from everything. I found a safe space. Those trophy people, that safe space, this is what they're talking about. I'm telling you, I found it. My bad. I'm going to get crap for that one later. Oh, Lord. I'm going to get in trouble. Well, I'll be home. But since I lived by a terminal, I'll be asking for local runs just to keep some change coming. Look, that's
legit.
Man, for real. Like that's gold right there. If you can get out and back and still be home every night for a week or two.
Yeah, what I used to do, if I wanted to take some extended time off, I would run what we used to call them Uncle Rush specials. Something that's tea called a Troutdale that used to go up to Sumner. And,
right.
Do that a couple times. And that was my truck payment for the week. And I'd go back home. And then the next week I'd do 1 or 2 more, make the truck payment, go back home.
That's the only reason I'm working Wednesday and Thursday, honestly, is to cover the truck for the next week.
Yeah.
It's just 1 more week. I don't have to worry about being off. So,
yeah.
Hey, Craig Hutchinson said he talked to Juice. Juice told him that as a 1-1, the cameras will not be allowed to be pulled from the truck's leased at that point unless you have your own insurance. So I would assume that there's actually you could probably swap to the other camera.
Yeah, that's a question that Charlie and I had. I should have asked Brett about that. I didn't even think about that because they given his recommendation, I would think that they would let people swap.
Right. Dennis said he's going to take all our money if we take off. I say, go for it, brother. Keep out there. Get out there. You know what? Take some time after the holidays. I used to do it. Look, there was a point when I used to take all of January off because I got tired of the damn ice and living up in Oregon. I had no choice but to go drive in it because I had to get in it to get out of it, right? Ugh. It seemed like everything coming out of there at that point in time was taking you over some giant mountain pass and then out through Wyoming, Nebraska, Montana. Good God. Deep up in the Canadian land.
Since we're talking vacation stuff, so you guys that were interested, I know it's not very many of you, but we're going to find out in the next couple of days if I'm biting off more than I can chew on my truck remodel on the interior.
Right.
I've got both of my boys are home to help me out with that. We're going to pull everything out tomorrow and do our measurements to see what we can actually build in there once
Right.
everything's out. And I'm hoping I didn't bite off more than I get you on this. But there's
Man, I'm excited to see how it turns out, though. I'm not gonna lie, good or bad. I think it'll be awesome.
It'll be fun to try.
Right? You gotta get the Donna to document some of this while you're working out there, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I've been out for a month and a half right now. So the interior of the truck, you know how it is when you're out for a long time and you just get lazy about picking stuff up.
Right.
So the truck is about at the worst condition that it ever gets. So
right.
I got to take a picture of it in that state.
Nice.
Just the worst it ever gets for me with all the clutter, and then step by step as I go through it. So
right. Chris, he's building an office in this damn thing, man. I'm a little jealous, but I refuse to climb up to a top bunk, and that's what he's going to do. I'm not doing it.
Yep. I'm pulling everything, all the cabinets out and everything, and I'm building an office for the bottom bunk area. Oh, dude, I'll have those bungee cords on there forever. It's my trademark, dude.
Right? That's how we all find him, man. Don't look at truck number. I just look for that blue Freightliner with the bungees, man. I can find it in the dark. It's great. Hey, Barb, you have a Merry Christmas. Great. We're glad you were here. Great to see you. Glad you're doing well. Hope everything stays awesome for you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Chris said, just getting ready to put that king-size bed in that Freightliner. Cow King.
Well,
baby.
for those days that Charley visits me.
Right, because I love him. I love him. Screenshot. There's a screen grab.
I'm the big spoon, though.
Whatever. Whatever. All right, you guys. If you don't have any other questions, we're going to give you a couple more minutes to throw them up. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, we will dip into that. If not, we're probably going to wrap this thing, and we will be back next Tuesday. At least I know I will be. I hope Jeff will be. He could be buried under chunks of his truck by then. Who knows?
Oh, and the other thing that came out of the Brett thing is he would like to be a guest on the show either the first or second week of the year next year.
There you go. We can talk about the coming year.
We can talk about the coming year rates. And I told him that one of the things that I'm going to ask him about is those cameras and what they're capable of. So.
I have spoken, Jeff.
Okay.
Apparently, I want to be the big spoon next time. And yes, Mike, there will be a show next week. Every Tuesday, man. Unless there's some freaky thing that happens. We haven't missed a week since we started the show well over a year ago now. So every Tuesday, man. You guys be safe out there. Merry Christmas to all of you. We will see you when we come back. Jeff, you got anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap this thing, man?
No, be safe. Spend some time with family, guys, if you can. And if not, make some money while you can and then go spend some time with your family.
I second that emotion something. Yeah. Hey, you guys, be careful out there. Take care of each other. This week's going to be something special with the weather stuff. So seriously, it's not worth the freight. It's not worth your life to get the freight. I got lost there. I apologize. Maybe I should go pour a little whiskey in this Mountain Dew because Mountain Dew ain't cutting it today. But yeah, look, the load ain't worth your life. That's what I'm trying to say. And nobody's going to push you except you. So don't push yourself on that sort of thing. Everybody take care of each other. Look after each other. If you see a fellow guy out there having a hard time, a fellow lady out there having a hard time, you know what? Don't grab your camera and start shooting video. Get out there and offer to help. And if they start yelling at you, oh, screw you, Swifty, then get your camera out, put that up on YouTube, and we'll help promote that video. Just saying. Yep. Y'all be good, be safe, take care of each other. We're out of here. We'll see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Contractors Corner Consulting Group live weekly update.